Welcome, my friends. This is episode 386. I am always obsessed with the topic of time, and lately I have recorded more episodes where I tackle this never-ending question of the limited time we have available to us. I always wonder how I can squeeze more out of every day. In doing so, I often overcommit myself, which then leads me to be late or miss appointments. Something I talked about in episodes 378 and 379. Time is a blessing. It's given to us at the moment we are born, but it is a dwindling balance that can't be replenished with any deposits other than living a life that maximizes longevity through health. We are in control of spending this limited balance. We decide where, with whom, and how we spend our time. And when we talk to old people and hear their regrets about time, then we know we are not good at spending it effectively. Today I want to give you a few ideas on becoming more effective with your time. When I say effective, I mean two things. One, you are conscious of how you use your time. And two, you are using your time in accordance with your values. Ultimately, how you spend your time is personal, but I would guess that many of the hours in your days are flying by without you realizing that they're gone. My ideas on saving time will help you notice where you might be squandering it unnecessarily. Maybe you don't notice it. Maybe you think you are maximizing your time. Which brings me to the second part. Spending time where it matters most. Ideally, we spend it on the people and activities that matter to us. But do we know what they are? And are we conscious of the time as it passes? When you begin to reflect on your use of time, you will become more aware where it's going and whether or not this meets your standards. So let's talk about standards. I can't speak for you, but I know that my time is valuable to me. When I say valuable, that means I want to use it as effectively as I can. And as we talk, this means I spend it on my main objectives. This is where you can start. You have to define what matters to you. It's basically a question of how you spend your life. And it's a constantly changing question as we evolve and change along with time. Your life is made up of the seconds that tick by as you listen to me ramble. I would think that my podcast is a valuable investment of your time, and to some degree, you must believe it too, otherwise you wouldn't listen. We all know what is important to us and what isn't. We may not have verbalized it, but it's there. We make time for work, although hesitantly at times. We make time for our friends and family because they matter to us. We make time for other activities. Travel, hobbies, church, volunteering, social gatherings, education, and more. I make time every day for fitness. But no matter how focused we are with our use of time, there will always be time we consider wasted. It's often the time that is outside of our control. Waiting time is the number one for me. Waiting for people especially. But I also know that I have to put up with it as part of achieving my goals. We have decided, even if not consciously, by choosing these activities that they matter to us. And today I'm asking you to think about them again. Bring them to your forefront. If you have New Year's resolutions, they probably fall into similar categories. When it comes to our use of time, I'm probably on the stricter end as I closely monitor it. Others' definition of effective use of time may be as simple as to have fun. That's where their definition ends. But I'm going to challenge that. We want more than just to have fun. When you dig deeper, you will find yourself asking, what is fun for me? What kind of fun am I looking for? And is this fun in line with who I want to be? So ask yourself those questions today. Dig deeper and really be clear about what is important to you. And once you define what this is, then take a look at your day. Are you spending time on those things? And if not, what are you doing to remedy that? Let me give you an example. Working is critical for most of us as it affords us the things we need and want. Your job, however, may not be enjoyable to you for various reasons. I'm sure most of us have been in such a job at least once. The question we then ask ourselves is this: what matters to me? Am I willing to put up with this just to collect a check, or am I going to change it? This question is an example of where you're already asking yourself about the effective use of time. If you think about it more, you probably do it more than you think. Another example: traffic. Every day I spend a minimum of 1 hour and 15 minutes in traffic, often more. Is that an effective use of my time? I asked myself this question before I took the job. Traffic alone? No, definitely a waste. But it supports a bigger objective called income. And income affords me other things that also support my goals. I then can ask, could I find a job that's closer to home for the same income? Sure. In my case, highly likely. This then begs many other questions, such as, am I willing to change my current job, which I enjoy, for something unknown? The learning curve, the people, the benefits, so many additional considerations. We all go through questions like this, and we need to. It's important to be clear on our objectives. When traffic is bad again, like it is now that the holidays are over, I don't want to start job hunting every time I get home after 2 grueling hours. It's a waste of energy and time. I want to have closure in my mind that the decision to stay with my job supports my objective, even if it's not a perfect situation. Another example: I recently hired a lady to clean my apartment. I had been deliberating this decision for years. I like cleaning. I don't mind it at all. In fact, seeing my apartment sparkle and smell good makes me happy. I consider it an accomplishment, so there's a great benefit here. But I realized that cleaning also was always something that fell to the bottom of things I needed to get done. And when a task that needs to get done lingers too long at the bottom, because cleaning eventually does need to get done, it becomes stressful, just like those taxes we need to file every year. But eventually, it became too much. Stressing out over cleaning, really? I didn't consider this a good use of my energy. That's when I made the call. During the time that the cleaners are here, I'm with a girl that I mentor regularly, and that time with her is more important to me than cleaning time. Let's get back to your time. You have thought about what matters to you, and now hopefully you have a better idea how to look at your use of time. The things you do may not directly support your objective, but indirectly they might. Maybe you wish to have your own company one day. Then you can make this an objective and start working on it while maintaining your regular job to secure your income. You could also begin to cut your expenses. Not always enjoyable, but again, it supports a bigger goal. If you're listening to this and other podcasts, then I would guess you are seeking answers. Ask yourself, what are my questions? You should know what you are seeking. This is the clarity you need to be able to answer whether or not your time listening to podcasts is well spent. It doesn't mean every podcast has to address your needs, but overall, if you're getting something out of them, if you're using and applying the knowledge in some form, then this listening time is time that supports your goals. Hence, it's effective. Because it takes you further. It's progress towards your goals. The people that regret later in life are the people that were not clear on what matters to them. Because once you know that, then you have the opportunity to make it happen. This doesn't mean every minute is productive. It won't be. It means that time is more intentional. It doesn't just fly by without us taking notice, wondering where the days, months, and years have gone. When I meet a new person, maybe a potential partner or a new friend, the question I ask is not, is there something better I could do with my time? Because the answer is mostly yes. I always have something important to do. Rather, the question I ask is, will investing my time with this person support my overall goals? My goal is to be a better person in all aspects. And when I meet someone, that's exactly what I look for. Are they helping me to become that person through their character, their experiences, and their interactions with me? Or are they just consuming all my energy with drama, games, and behaviors I don't support? Time, just like your bank account, takes frequent consideration. Not of the obsessive kind, but a consideration that takes everything else into consideration. Next time you make a decision, a regular one, like waiting 2 hours in line for a table at a well-known restaurant, going to Costco on the weekends, checking emails first thing in the morning, going to lunch or happy hour with co-workers, driving to a popular destination on a holiday weekend, or driving an hour to the mall for shopping. Think about how these activities support your objectives. I'm not saying that they don't. I listed them because I am faced with these decisions from time to time. And these are all activities that I have decided against most of the time because they may be necessary, but they are not critical. This doesn't mean they are always. I did go to the mall the weekend before Christmas to buy clothes for the girl I mentor. We went together. This was our time together, and it mattered to her. Objective met. I did go to Tahoe skiing on a holiday weekend, and I was stuck in traffic for almost 7 hours on the way back. It was tough, but I knew I had made that decision consciously, and it was important to me. You can see how knowing what matters to you is critical. Without it, you cannot know if your use of your time is effective. It will also help you prioritize. Sometimes I have 3 activities that are all important competing for my time. Those are the really hard decisions. But in order to make a good decision, I need to be very clear and focused. And sometimes we do all need a break. Recharge time helps us be more productive when we need it. I feel best about relaxing time when I know I checked off a few critical items already. And sometimes we can combine recharge time with our objective. A movie, dinner, or coffee with a friend we haven't seen in a while can be both, supporting our social life and helping us relax a little bit. When I surf Instagram at the end of the day for a few minutes, I look for workout videos, which I save in my collections and use later in the gym. I believe that the clearer we are on our targets, the more we will begin to respect our time. And this is my goal with this episode. You can buy food 24/7. You can go without the new clothes for a few days. You can sacrifice meeting friends a few times. But can you afford to put off your goals and your dreams? After all, that is what we are here for. To fulfill them, to act on them, to make the best out of our time here by making a difference. Respect the limited and dwindling resource of time, my friends, and you will begin to notice the difference in your life, your relationships, and your accomplishments. Much love.